Okay, so I want to do a video on this again. For those who aren't familiar with this gun, this is the Savage Model 64 Takedown in flat dark earth that I tiger striped. I added tech sights to. I added some rope to the barrel. That's paracord, sorry. An M1 Garand sling. I modified the magazine catch, and then I did a jungle mag. This is my 22 caliber PDW. Okay, that's the topic of this video. Is you can set up a 22 rifle of varying flavors to be this pretty easily. This one I made to be a survival gun that could flex into that role, and I'm gonna get bigger mags for it now that they make them. If you had like a Ruger 1022 or something, you could pretty legit do this, especially the takedown model. Having a full-size 22 caliber rifle in a bag, I would take this over most handguns most days, flat out. And maybe I just shoot a 22 rifle really well, but I see this as being a much more practical firearm. Jesus, fucking mockingbird. I see this being a much more practical firearm for self-defense than a pistol. The takedown method of it makes it where you can throw it in a bag and have it with you. And in my opinion, for a long gun, the ability just to be able to pull it out and put it together and have it, that's bigger than having it just ready to go out of a bag. It means you'll have it with you more places, that kind of a thing. It's preferable to have a gun ready to go out of the bag. In today's day and age, with the SBR laws coming back into effect and shit, this is my answer to that. The Ruger PC carbine and 9mm could be another answer, but like in reality, 9mm versus 22, I don't think it matters. I know that's a controversial statement, but in reality, in real modern combat, you're probably going to be shooting at the head. Headshots 22 or 9mm, I don't think it really matters that much. Especially when the 22 is out of a 16-inch rifle and the 9mm is out of a 4 or 5-inch pistol. This thing is a lethal son of a bitch. It's a cool gun too. I like the looks of this thing. The ammunition is cheap. It is light. Like, if I were only going to own 3 guns, this is one of the 3. I'd have this, a 1911, and an AR-15. And like, I think in reality, like Paul Harrell, I would love to hear his thoughts on this gun as a defensive firearm. Like, this thing, I set it up as best I could when I was making it. I could have put a red dot on it, but I thought iron sights were better. And the dual mag is because they didn't make a 20 rounder. So if they don't make a 20 rounder, 2 10s taped together is as good as you're gonna get. This gun is really, really light. It's really, really small. It has a really nice trigger. It's $220. This is the unpopular option for a PDW. I think this is the obvious option. You need a survival rifle anyway. Why not make them one and the same? The next thing I'm going to do for this thing is get 2 20 rounders and jungle mag them, and maybe get a red dot sight on it. So like, this thing isn't really done. It's a work in progress, and like, it has limitations, right? It has a skinny barrel. It doesn't have a threaded barrel at all. I overcame some of its limitations with these tech sights. These are pretty bitchin'. It makes it into a little M1 carbine kind of thing. And that's, you know, that's what this is to me. This is a 22 caliber modern M1 carbine that's takedown. It's badass. I think everyone should have something like this in their collection. Even if it's just like, hey, your range plinker that you've set up with some sort of a defensive plan in mind. This one does not have a flashlight mount on it. And that's because in reality, I have other guns for defending myself in like most situations. This thing is kind of a shit hits the fan carbine sort of a thing, and I have not gotten around to putting a light mount on it yet. That's, you know, I don't really have a plan even on how to do that. think the obvious thing would be to come up here and bolt something around the barrel that has a 1913 rail on it. That's doable. We might do that. I think I might also epoxy this so that it's solid. It's just wrapped really tight and has been since I did it. Between that and the red dot, and then getting some sort of a flashlight for it, like, this thing would be better. Actually, I have that little mini mag light. Might throw that on here. I need something for that to do, and this needs a lightweight light. That is a lightweight one. I don't know. This thing isn't done, and I really like this gun. This is one of my favorite guns. I would like a Marlin Papoose as much as this gun, just it wasn't cheap, and this thing was the new cheap one, and I wanted to try it, and I always wanted a Marlin Papoose, and I'd never spend the money because, honestly, I don't think those guns are worth $400, $500, which is what they bring around here. It's crazy. Like, this thing I got for $220 at Academy. Bitchin'. And honestly, if I only had to own a couple of guns, this might be the rifle I would pick. I hate to say that over an AR-15. It really depends on your situation, though. But, like, if I have to be somewhere where it's concealed and shit, I'd rather have this and a handgun over an AR-15. Unless it's a real shorty or something like that. This thing has definite concealment advantages. And it comes with a little case. I left it in the other room. In my opinion, when it comes to pistol calibers, basically, if you're shooting ball ammo and you're talking 9mm versus 380 versus 32 versus 22, none of that matters. The extra speed added by the barrel of this thing is going to make up for any fucking shortcomings it might have had. I wouldn't want to get shot at by this thing, especially when you figure that it has a pretty light trigger and you can crank out 4 or 5 rounds in a burst. This is like a shotgun. That's how I would use it. And like in Never Enough Ammo's 3-gun arsenal, his third gun is a shotgun, right? My third gun is this thing. Okay, it has different advantages from the shotgun. For one thing, if you are, a smaller, weaker individual, you can shoot this a hell of a lot better than you can a shotgun. That's myself included. Since starting to take bitch pills, note the hands, my thumbs are getting crazy small. Like, I really can't handle a shotgun. Not like I used to, anyway. I can still shoot one, but it's not optimal for me anymore. As such, I think something like this makes a good third gun option. It does small game, and you can defend yourself with it. That's what the third option is in Never Enough Ammo's 3-gun arsenal, is a shotgun, because you can defend yourself with it and do small game. And even some big game, too. Shotgun has many upsides. I'm just saying, this thing is light and small and low recoil and easy to shoot and can do small game. So as a replacement for a shotgun, I would rather have this gun and 500 rounds of 22 than a shotgun and 25 rounds of 12 gauge. And that's about the, when you're packing it in and shit, the weight of the shotgun is a lot more. So you're going to barely have any weight left for ammo at all. This thing's super light, and the ammo is super light. And honestly, I would bring a couple of jungle mags, so magazines don't weigh anything. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. Oh, it's a badass gun. What else could you have as a third gun option? Like, my Flux Raider would make an interesting third gun. And you should get that when I say third gun, the first 2 guns in my 3-gun arsenal are always going to be a fixed stock M16 of some sort and a 1911 of some sort. That's what I keep coming back to. I've hit that time and time again. And between the history of them mixed with how effective they are, that's what I like. So, third gun options in my mind are, we don't need a handgun, we don't need a rifle. we need something else. This means PDW SMG shotgun, maybe concealed carry pistol. You might get a backup gun. That would be the only pistol that I would consider. But I think if you're only limited to 3 guns, there's more useful options than having 2 pistols. And something like this tucked in your backpack, like, the other thing is, why do you only have 3 guns? I kind of figure any situation where you might only have 3 guns, weight might be a factor, size might be a factor, carrying them all at the same time might be a factor. I give you the 3rd gun. I don't know what I'm going to call this. I'm going to have to watch this and see what the title is, but 22 PDW, something like that. Tell me what you guys think. Am I crazy for having a 22 long rifle PDW? I really don't think I am, with the caveats I've set in place about it, to where, like, you need to know that you have to hit them in the head or the heart. Nothing else counts. The good part is this thing is pretty good at shooting small targets. You know, I wouldn't go for heart because it's hard to see what that is. They might be wearing armor or whatever, so it's a headshot machine. This is a lot of things, right? Oh, I have water. That was in the van, and it's slowly making its way towards the house. I needed to do some shit in the van the other night, and I needed to unload it quickly, so I only took it halfway. Is that not a cool looking rifle? I'm just saying. For $200 and some parts, like the sights were 80, the paracord I had, the sling I had, the sling mounts I had. So the sling mounts would be like $10, that sling would be like $20. The extra mag was $20. The magazine there, to do that, I rolled them in duct tape, and then I put Kydex on them. I rolled that in duct tape, and then I rolled that in vet wrap, camo form, whatever you want to call it. That's really solid. They aren't coming apart. Well, tell me what you guys think. I'll see you later.